last split definitely felt surreal.
What is it like to play with what Reddit considers like the future world champion of top lane?
It won't be Dig Barons this season. It'll be Dig Otacons this year.
I'm joined with Tomo, who's on Dignitas. Again, nothing wrong here, but first I did want to talk about your previous split before talking about you rejoining Dignitas. Tomo time was real last split. Like you joined Heart of Thieves, they weren't doing that great. Like bottom three, took them to Worlds through playoffs. Like talk to me about your experience joining Heart of Thieves, going from NACL to starting and actually making it to Worlds. Like how was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, last split definitely felt surreal. I think when I dropped to tier 2 and I was playing like the regular season in tier 2, felt like this definitely wasn't what I wanted to continue pursuing. And I was already thinking about like going back to school after like this whole thing's over. And then luckily for me, I got a call from 100 Thieves GM. They wanted me to play. And from there, like we just made a whole miracle run. So that was super exciting. Definitely like really memorable moments for me and for the team as well.
And what would you say was like the most memorable thing maybe at Worlds, or was it like qualifying to Worlds?
Yeah, I think beating C9, especially since everyone was like hitting on us, like we would just get like complete stomped by them, and then we just somehow beat C9. It was like giga dopamine for like everyone on the team. So yeah, that's a really good memory for me. And obviously, like even though we didn't do too well at Worlds, I think the whole experience itself was very, very different from like just playing in LA, like on the Riot Studio or whatever. So I think that whole experience was really fun for me as well.
Awesome. Yeah, now you're on Dig for the third time.
We're
I do
back.
think what?
We're back.
We're back. I do think this Dig does it looks different, it feels different. I mean, firstly, you have Srtty in the top lane who's like very hyped up. What is it like to play with what Reddit considers like the future world champion of top lane?
um, I want to say I mean, that's like pretty hype for him, I guess, but I think he has a long way to go before he can reach that. But you know, I can see his talent. I think he for sure has a lot of potential, but you know, I think our team, we will definitely need some time. I think we have some newer pieces to the team, so we still have to work on how well we synergize with each other and just like overall macro like game knowledge we kind of lack right now. So luckily we have a really good coding staff, so I'm really confident that we'll be able to just, I guess, scale throughout the year.
Well, you talk about game knowledge, and your head coach is Rigby, who is someone known for his knowledge of the game and just being a relatively unique coach. I think whenever you talk to people about Rigby, they sort of praise him in a different way than maybe other coaches. What's it like going from having a coaching staff on Dig, no coaching staff, you being the coach on Disguise, pretty much, and then having Golden Glue, who he's a rookie coach at least in Tier One, and now you're playing with Rigby, who's someone like everybody respects.
I guess like Rigby's coaching style is very different from other coaches I worked with. I think he's very what's the term, like I guess hands-on and like demanding, kind of like, I don't want to say it, but like he's like kind of a dictator coach, I would say. Not in like a bad sense, but you know, like he like kind of takes full control of like draft and like how we want to practice every day and stuff like that. I think that's like honestly very helpful, especially with the players that we have, like Srtty. I think he definitely is learning a lot from our coach. So so far it's been really good. I think our practice has been really solid. We're always learning every day. So yeah.
You've played with a fair share of Korean players throughout your time. Even just last split, you've played a little bit with River and Quid. I would consider them a little bit different, but now you have, a player who actually knocked you out. Or I guess he didn't knock you out, but he beat you at Worlds, and now you're joining him. Is there a little bit of like trash size, or is it like how is it playing with Keen
Keine?
or Kaney? I guess
Yeah, Keine. I mean, yeah, he beat my Worlds, but honestly, it's pretty funny when I saw him the first time. We were kind of joking about it, but no, he's like a really good teammate. I think he's definitely here to win. you can like kind of get a sense of that. And you know, Rigby actually recommended him like to the team. Like he really wanted to work with Keine, and I can see why, because he's obviously like a really talented player, and he's like a grinder. You know, he always plays a lot of solo queue after scrims. I think he takes a lot of feedback to heart. Like he'll actually try to implement it, like the very next game, you know. And I think he's also had a lot of group calls with Srtty and the coach together, just talking about the game, like how they want to play side lanes together, what they have to say to like communicate with the team, stuff like that. I feel like he's already really involved with the team. So yeah, it's really good to have Koreans that are actually willing to, I guess, like assimilate to the system that we have. So yeah.
That's interesting you say that, because I talked to you last year about the Koreans that you were on your team, and you kind of mentioned how it was like the two of them by themselves, and then it's just you, XU, and Isles just trying to figure out how to play the game. And it feels like I said, this Dignitas, not only does it look different, it also feels different. And I'm glad that you feel that as well. Was that part of the reason why you decided, hey, maybe third time's the charm with Dignitas?
Yeah, I think Dignitas was definitely my best option if I wanted to win. I think just having Rigby on board already, he gave me a lot of confidence when I had a chat with him about like how he wants to coach a team or the systems in place, and like I guess my own security, because obviously I'm a bit concerned if I get dropped again after a split, you know.
A little
So he
traumatized,
gave me
yeah.
some reassurance about that. So yeah, and that's why I joined Dig.
Um, the new season's out, and a lot has changed, not just in terms of gameplay, but in terms of like even the format that you have to play in. uh you know, new objectives and all that is cool, but fearless draft sort of warps the game. I don't know if you watched any LPL, but we've watched about 2 series so far. Those are best of fives, which is a little bit different. You guys are going to be playing best of threes, but it gets to a point where like you're playing your seventh, eighth best AD carry, and you don't run into that very often in like regular drafting, unless there's like some sort of like, you know, super pinching or whatnot. How is adjusting or practicing to this new format? Because I guess it's a bit of a longer question, but there's one side that says, hey, this is really cool. We get to see new champions, more variety. This is going to be so much fun. And there's the other side is like, we're going to get to see players play their eighth or ninth best champion. I'd much rather see Chovy Zazir binge Jax than see Bin play a champion he's not as proficient as you know, Camille and whatnot. So where do you lie on that scale, and how is it going from, hey, I need to master these 580 carries to, hey, I need to master like 10 or 15 now?
So like what do I think about fearless like in general?
Yeah, so that's the first part. Yeah.
Um I think fearless is definitely like a different take on just like competitive league. I've had my fair share because I played in academy, but I think when I was playing in academy with fearless, I didn't really join it that much because I felt like, well, first of all, people aren't really that good on multiple champions, and I think it just makes drafts like pretty confusing if you're not doing good prep. But I think in LCS, there's kind of like a tier list of champions, and you kind of just like go down a tier list, you know, like first game pick all OPs, second game pick the second best champions, whatever. I think the biggest thing is once all the melee supports out, the game kind of gets weird because now you're left with like enchanter picks or like some like random pike in your game, you know. I think that's the biggest difference I felt, at least in bot lane, because in bot lane there's only like, at least right now, like 2 or 3 strong ADCs, but that's like already gone after one game, you know? So I think biggest thing is just playing with a different style of support for me. So
Okay, interesting that for you is the support. I was watching LPL and it's like Varus Ashe are like the number one, number two, and they're kind of banning Callista and Caitlyn every now and then. And then it's just like, yeah, everybody's just playing everything, and it looks a bit funky because like it seems like they're not practiced with the AD carry, or AD carry is just really weak, or both, or yeah, it looks a little weird
yeah,
to
I think as
difficult.
well, like sorry to cut you off. I
No,
think
no,
as
you're good.
well, like since lane swaps are so pretty prominent, you know, it also affects what ADCs you pick. Obviously, some ADCs are really weak early. They're like not going to be strong in lane swaps. So I guess that's also a reason why like the drafts are wonky.
Well, I love chaos. I like watching LPL. So as long as we see a lot of cool, like maybe not dig barons, but some funky plays, I think it'll be fun. Do you have anything?
Yeah, it won't be dig barons this season. It'll be dig autocons this year.
Dude, the ruinous, whichever one has that drain, that Otacon just like aces whoever tries to whoever tries to take it
the
just
orange
dies.
one has a drain. The
Ferocious,
yeah.
It's Otacon is just like so much fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all the time we had. Thanks. Interviews with you always tend to go long just because you just talk, make it very easy and comfortable. But do you have any words? Can I get a few words for the believers in Tomo time?
Believers?
They're there. I see them on the LTA Discord. Sorry.
That's nice. Yeah, hopefully you guys could keep cheering for me and my new team, or like my new old team. Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think we definitely have a lot of players that came from tier 2. So if you support tier 2, please come support us as well, because we're here to prove that there's actually talent in tier 2 as well. So yeah, keep supporting us. Thank you.
We're so back. We are so back. I'm so happy to have interviews again. I did 2 interviews today, Tomo and contracts. The contracts one will be coming out Monday, the 18th. And then tomorrow I have one with Impact. That's going to be really cool. I'm going to be doing it in Korean. Also, if you noticed in the very beginning, I sort of changed for this year, put the sub goal as 8,000. There's a very specific reason for that. I am racing David to 8,000 subscribers, and he's like 2,000 ahead of me, 2,500 almost ahead of me. So I got a lot of catching up to do, but I know that I can do it. I know that like you guys, whenever I ask for subs, you guys definitely do. So this is my plea. I gotta catch up and beat him to 8,000 this year. Besides that, it was just so much fun talking to Tomo. Like I didn't realize how much I missed just talking to the pros and interviewing them. It was fun. I'm glad that he didn't retire and that he got an offer and didn't go back to school and was like competing again. And this dig team does feel different. I know he said, well, it'll take some time for them to gel and to like there'll be a scaling team, but hopefully, they're not kaboomed after one year. They can actually stick together and develop, and Rigby can really use his dictatorship to lead the team and give them a good core. I think this team has potential for sure. And yeah, just wishing him the best, as long as they don't play Shopify, obviously. And yeah, it's just so much fun to be back. I miss this for sure.